Good evening and welcome to California Today. I'm David Lam. Let's take a look at today's stories. The state updated its rules on workers who come into contact with COVID-19. Vaccination status won't matter for 3 months. Police are tracking down a suspect who has broken into 60 businesses this year. The governor announced plans to crack down on crime. A charity in the Bay Area has been giving Christmas gifts for 32 years. The pandemic brought challenges, but they're back to give a milestone number of gifts this year. Today, San Francisco Mayor London Breed declared a state of emergency in the Tenderloin district. The declaration is due to widespread drug use in the area.
Breed said the emergency declaration allows the city to waive certain laws around zoning and planning codes to allow people with substance use issues to receive behavioral health services and get off the street.
We have to take them somewhere. So either that somewhere is going to be San Francisco General, depending on their condition, or that somewhere is going to be a location that we will set up as a result of this emergency declaration. And the goal is to not let anyone stay out in the streets.
The supervisor in charge of the Tenderloin district said the city needs immediate rapid crisis intervention, outreach and coordination on our streets, and expanded treatment and detox.
The overdose epidemic is taking the lives of nearly 2 people a day in our city. Most of those people are in the Tenderloin or the south of Market, and mostly from fentanyl.
The Board of Supervisors must certify the declaration of emergency within the next 7 days. It will stay in effect for no longer than 90 days.
The state has updated its rules for workers who come in contact with people with COVID-19. Both vaccinated and unvaccinated individuals will be treated the same.
California state regulators extended workplace restrictions on Thursday. The regulations will not take into account if an individual is vaccinated against the CCP virus, also known as COVID-19. The rules will take effect on January 14th. Anyone who comes into contact with someone infected with the CCP virus will be prohibited from going to the workplace. Individuals must quarantine for 14 days. The rules will be in effect for 3 months. The change in rules comes 1 day after California required all individuals, regardless of vaccine status, to wear masks indoors. State CCP virus data showed a spike in cases, while deaths have consistently trended downwards. The Associated Press reported on December 16th that Saskia Kim, member of the state's Nursing Education and Workforce Advisory Committee, said vaccinated people can transmit the virus, and early reports show that to be especially true with Omicron.
Southern California officials announced new efforts to tackle crime across the state. Police are looking for an example of that crime, a suspect responsible for breaking into 60 businesses this year. Here's NTD's Eileen Ang with more.
On Friday, California Governor Gavin Newsom and Attorney General Rob Bonta proposed new state efforts and investments to fight crime that has been plaguing the state.
We are putting out over $250 million in enforcement grants, competitive enforcement grants, to help local law enforcement advance their efforts to investigate and to arrest and help us aid and advance the prosecution of people that are involved in organized retail theft.
The new resources and funding announced today, they're a game changer. The Real Public Safety Plan provides the DOJ with additional funding to bolster our existing efforts, taking down the perpetrators at the top of these crime rings and shutting down the pipeline of stolen merchandise, freezing out the illicit market and ensuring serious criminals face serious consequences.
In an exclusive interview with Fox News, former Governor Jerry Brown said there aren't enough consequences for criminals.
You've heard about the redistribution of wealth. We need a redistribution of incarceration. Steal a car or something, you're going to spend some time. You don't have to spend 10 years. Put them in for a month. If they do it again, put them in for 3 months.
An example is the 2 o'clock rock burglary in Los Angeles. The Los Angeles Police Department is looking for the man responsible for breaking into 60 businesses in the San Fernando Valley this year. He's referred to as the 2 o'clock rock burglar because he strikes between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. According to the police, the suspect first canvasses a location, then stages rocks in front of the business. He then throws a rock through the front glass door and steals cash from the register. The suspect is described to be an African-American male who sometimes wears glasses. He's 5 feet 10 inches and weighs about 150 to 180 pounds. Generally, he wears a dark hooded sweatshirt, blue jeans, and black shoes. He has been seen riding a bicycle or driving an early 2000s four-door dark-colored Nissan Maxima or Sentra. The police ask anyone with more information to contact them. Eileen Ang, NTD News, California.
A group of San Francisco residents is suing the city's Recreation and Parks Department for keeping a number of the city's roads closed. The closures were part of pandemic-related changes, but some residents want the roads to reopen. NTD's Cynthia Kai has the details.
Open, the Great Highway Alliance, and 5 other plaintiffs filed a lawsuit on Thursday against the San Francisco Recreation and Park Department. The lawsuit seeks to reopen San Francisco's Great Highway, John F. Kennedy Drive, and Martin Luther King Drive. All 3 streets are closed as part of a pandemic-related initiative known as Slow Streets. These are partially closed streets that limit car access but increase pedestrian access.
The answer is that the closures are illegal because the roads here, namely JFK Drive, MLK Drive, the Great Highway, have been partially closed, not fully closed.
He says the city needs to follow strict guidelines to legally close public roads.
The city is allowing pedestrians, bikers, as well as people who are in food trucks, motorized scooters, and surreys to use the roads anytime, while keeping many others off the roads. This violates both state and local law.
NTD reached out to San Francisco's city attorney's office for a comment, but did not hear back by airtime. According to a SF County Transportation Authority November report, the city shut down the highways to improve the local economy, health and safety, livability, and address climate change.
Those people didn't stop using their cars because they shut down the Great Highway. They just started coming through the middle of the Sunset neighborhood.
The Transportation Authority reports between 17,000 to 19,000 cars per day used the Great Highway prior to pandemic lockdowns.
The mindset that by closing roads to cars, suddenly people are going to just stop driving. That's just not the reality here.
On April 4th, 2020, San Francisco Public Works closed the Great Upper Highway for scheduled sand removal maintenance. However, District 4 Supervisor Gordon Marr requested the roadway remain closed to create an opportunity for physically distant exercise during the pandemic.
The people who typically use the Great Highway, for example, which is largely a commuter route, they're getting to jobs, they're getting to schools, they're getting to doctor's appointments. They're not going to stop driving because their preferred route of access has been blocked, has been gated off. They're just going to be in their cars longer.
The lawsuit was filed in the California Superior Court, County of San Francisco. SF Recreation and Park Department has 30 days to respond to the court summons. Cynthia Kai, NTD News, California.
A team at the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute, MBARI, spotted a fish that can see through its own forehead. The team found the fish while they were collecting jellies. The Barreleye fish, or Macropinna microstoma, was only encountered 9 times from the institute. This deep-sea fish was found off the coast of California and can grow up to 6 inches. It has a transparent head and 2 green orbs for eyes. This year, over 10,000 fires burned more than 4 million acres in the state. After the devastating wildfires this year, some students just graduated from Firefighting Academy. They told me that they want to give back on the front lines. On Friday, 25 cadets graduated from the first ever Fire Academy at Mission College in Santa Clara. They are part of the Firefighter 1 Academy.
The most exciting part was definitely the live burn day. We were able to put all of our skills that we learned to work and go into a real fire.
She wanted to be a firefighter because she says they are able to make an impact on the front lines.
I've always been a guy who loves to give back and help my community, so it's something that is special to me, and I want to always be able to give back, and I pass that down to my son and my wife. And
students went through firefighting preparation in their 16-week program. The faculty are from local fire agencies.
But then I began to realize that for me, it was not a job, it was a call.
We started with, I believe, 27. And during the academy, 2 of them actually got hired by a fire department, so they left to go work for a fire department, and we're at about 25 right now.
Congratulations to the first class. Super excited.
There were roughly 100 guests that attended. Local officials, other fire agencies, as well as law enforcement were present. Now, during the ceremony, one of the speakers said that these graduates are future lifesavers because they're going into a field that's integral to the community of California, which is prone to many wildfires. David Lamb, NTD News, California. Since 1990, the Family Giving Tree has provided gifts for 1 million Bay Area children, families, and seniors from low-income households. Today, it celebrates its 2 millionth gift delivered.
This year, the Family Giving Tree celebrates its 2 millionth gift delivered. The program provides gifts to residents around the Bay Area.
This year, we're hoping to deliver 40,000 gifts to about 200 agencies around the Bay Area. We give gifts to children as young as infants up to the age of 18, and then young adults, and seniors. So we're looking for toys and diapers, formula, diaper bags, crock pots, pots and pan sets, board games, anything, a list of over 200 gifts that a person can request.
Family Giving Tree was started by Jennifer Cullenbine as a college master's project. Her ideas were originally rejected, but she found a group of people to work with her and make the Christmas magic come true.
I learned from the last 32 years was that people will give if you ask them, but they need a simple way to help you. And so what I have figured out is how to make it simple for lots of people to help lots of kids. My little skeleton crew, we're here 11 and a half hours a day for 21 days straight to get this to happen, and it is a labor of love.
Most gifts in the warehouse are brought in from community members who signed up to shop for items to donate to the Family Giving Tree.
They decided to run with it. So what started as, giving a small handful of gifts to people in the community has now grown to being able to provide, 2 million. We're approaching 2 million, so.
Wynn added that they are working 21 days with their 18 mighty staffs to send gifts to Bay Area children, families, and seniors. Before the pandemic, the Family Giving Tree sent 80,000 gifts annually, but now it has decreased to 40,000 gifts since the local economy can't support this organization like normal years.
And that's all for tonight. You can join us again on California Today every weekday at 8 p.m. If you have any news tips or ideas for our show, feel free to let us know. You can also find us on Twitter and Facebook. I'm David Lamb. Have a wonderful evening.